Alright, good morning, afternoon, or evening, everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about the Tier 9 Tech 3 cruiser, the Donskoi or Dmitri Donskoi. Of course, it's for the Tech Trial series where I'm playing one game in the ship, re-reviewing it in like this year, I guess, or current meta, and then talking about the ship, making basically a review about it, and then you guys maybe can implement the playstyle into your own playstyle or see how it differs from yours, and maybe you can see which one is better. But anyway, let's start off with the armor layout. Oh, before we start off, actually, do make sure to write in the comments what Tech 3 ship you want to get featured in the Tech Trials, or what premium ship you want to get featured in the Fresh Look, or which Tier 10 ship, any ship, you want to get featured in the How I Play series or the Thought Process series. But here, this is Tech Trials. So let's look at the armor layout first. So we have 25mm nose armor on the Donskoi, 25mm side armor, and then a 27mm deck. Obviously, it has 25mm armor because, well, it's a light cruiser, even though the guns are big caliber. The actual, well, they're actually not that big caliber. They're 180s. So I believe anything under 203s is light cruiser levels. So the Donskoi counts as a light cruiser, so it will get light cruiser armor. Anyway, so we have, this is the Citadel. It sits obviously above the water, so and it's a big box, so you have to be quite careful with it. So do be careful when you play the Donskoi. You can actually get Citadeled quite easily when you're full broadside. For my commander build, I'm going to be running Grease the Gears, Gun Feeder, Priority Target, Superintendent, Survivability Expert, Concealment Expert, Adrenaline Rush, and Top Grade Gunner. Something a lot of you have asked me to do is, instead of just showing us the 21-point captain, can you show us a 10-point captain? What are the first 10 points you would use? So the first 10 points would be something like Grease the Gears, Priority Target, Superintendent, and then Concealment Expert. And then I would take Adrenaline Rush after that. And then Top Grade Gunner, and then Survivability Expert. In terms of equipment, I'm going to be running Main Battery Mod 3, Concealment System Mod 1, Prop Mod 1, Aiming System Mod 1, Surveillance Radar Mod 1, and Main Armaments Mod 1. And then for the exterior camouflage of the ship or whatever, well, I actually have this one, but you can also buy this one, but I don't think you should buy any perma camos, but they're always available. And before we go into the game, obviously from your feedback, you guys want to see the ship characteristics at the start of the video, right before the game. So if you want to skip straight to the game, the video is chaptered, you can just skip to that section. But if you're interested in knowing what the stats for the ship are, such as survivability and artillery and stuff, well, I'm going to cover them right now before the game because that's been highly requested. So in terms of HP, we have 47,450. That's with Survivability Expert. So for a light cruiser, that's quite a lot. It is a very big light cruiser. It is very big. You have 16% torpedo protection damage reduction. You have 180mm guns with an 11-second reload. So not really fast reload at all. But you get 180s, which isn't too bad, but you still get the exact same pen as you do on Woosters, for example, 152s. You get 30mm of pen with HE, and the AP is, I guess it's okay. I wouldn't say it's like Nevsky AP, it's quite worse than Nevsky AP, but the HE is definitely usable. And you obviously have 12 shells on the Donskoi, which is nice to have. Well, you have 17.8 kilometer gun range too, which is quite a fair amount. Not too bad. It's very usable. Secondaries, not really anything to talk about. They're cruiser secondaries. Torpedo tubes, we have 5 torps each side of the ship, so a total of 10 torps. They're 8 kilometer range, they do 14.4 thousand damage, 55 knots of speed, and their torpedo detection is 1.1 kilometers. I wouldn't say they're good torps, I think they're pretty miserable, but they're definitely usable at tier 9. I think the tier 8 torps at Chavaev are 4.5 kilometers, so pretty much these are the first kind of usable torps from the Tech 3 from the light cruisers. But I mean, 8 kilometers is definitely not something to be crazy over. Depth charges, you get 8 bombs, 2.4k damage each, but I believe they are ship-based ASW. Yep, they are. So that's pretty miserable for you, especially on a cruiser the size of Donskoi. So it's quite unfortunate. Defenses, well, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's actually wonderful. I mean, I have a really hard time preventing any strikes, but I also run the Hydro, and I'll explain why shortly. For maneuverability, You go 37.8 knots, which is really fast ship. But your turning circle radius is 970, so you turn like a truck. It's not that good in terms of the turning radius. The rudder shift time, 10.6, is okay, I guess. For a ship of its size, it's kind of okay. It's usable. Concealment, obviously I'm full concealment build, as you saw earlier. So this is 12.6 detection. So it's not bad. It's definitely usable. Obviously, it's a light cruiser with 12.6 kilometer detection, but you also come with a radar. So let's take a look at that actually. So you also have a 12 kilometer radar that lasts 30 seconds. That's with the radar mod 1. You also could extend the duration by taking the 2-point skill consumables enhancements, which you definitely could take if you wanted to, but that's the build I'm taking. You'd get 3 extra seconds of radar, which could help. I mean, you could get a reload in that 3 seconds, I guess. But yeah, reload time, 114, you get 4 radars. And then hydro, you get 5 kilometer hydro, standard hydro. But to be honest, I value hydro quite a lot, especially on a radar cruiser. I just prefer having hydro than not having hydro. Especially when you're facing, for example, Pan-Asian destroyers or destroyers with super stealthy torpedoes, the hydro can be really useful. And you obviously get a heal, pretty standard, DCP. And HE, AP torpedoes, we talked about those, and the depth charges. So that's the DM Donskoi, guys. So I think we should go into our game in the Donskoi. Alright, so here we are in our game in the DM Donskoi. We got pretty standard matchmaking, I would say, mid-tier, tier 9. Obviously, nowadays you can fight super ships, which is unfortunate, but well, this is the matchmaking we got for the game. So obviously, as you know, I record live commentaries, so normally I just go in, pick a game, like just talk over it whilst I'm playing the game. But that means sometimes we get bad games and sometimes we get good games of features, so it's pretty random. So let's see what we got here. So we got a Yamato, Duncan, Pommern, Izumo, North Carolina. We got a Moskva, Nevsky, Neptune, Takao, and the Harugumo, Vampire, Cossack. So obviously, in terms of the cruisers, which we're gonna be suffering a bit against, is the Moskva and the Neptune. Sorry, the Moskva and the Nevsky, sorry. The Neptune we're gonna be fine from overage trust. But Moskva and Nevsky is gonna be quite hard to deal with. In terms of the battleships, well, I mean, Yamato is a bit annoying, Duncan's quite annoying, Izumo's quite annoying, and Pommern, well, it's quite annoying, but I think we can actually farm him quite well in return, so it shouldn't be too bad. In terms of the DDs, Harugumo is going to be making us suffer probably. Vampire, potentially making us suffer, but I wouldn't say it's as hard as the Harugumo. But anyway, let's go to the AB side. I'm gonna skip this part so, you know, I get there in time and you can keep watching, I guess. Alright, so we are in range, but I don't really want to fight the Atago here. Well, I do, but I want to turn out first before I shoot, if you know what I mean. I don't want to be caught full broadside to this North Carolina. Atago should be able to go dark any second now. He also has 40mm deck, which, well, we don't pen, so we also have to keep that in mind. I'm actually going to switch to Pommern here, because he is quite aggro here. In my face, almost. 16 kilometers. Quite aggressive Pommern gameplay. But, no. But we have to be careful of it. We have to give it respect, obviously. Even though it only has 380mm guns. And as we know, 380s don't overmatch 27. But they overmatch my 25mm armor. We're gonna have to be quite careful. Because I have a lot of 25mm armor. That is our first fire. Instant DCP. What does that mean? He removed the fire with his consumable. And we're going to try to set a permafire. As we know, German DCP time is 15 seconds. So we just have to keep shooting him. And after 15 seconds, his white lights will turn off on his ship. They are off already. So now we can light permanent fires. We got 11 pens there, which is really good. Pretty much all our shells, almost. And we're gonna try to pretty much just output some damage and hopefully get a fire. I really want this fire, this permanent fire, if possible, because it will really help the situation if we get this permanent fire. I've said permanent fire 25,000 times. That's how much I really want this permanent fire. There we go. We got a permanent fire, guys. I'm very excited to be burning this Pommern down slowly but surely, definitely. I'm burning him down. Ah! Okay, we're fine. We're fine. Well, now we actually can't shoot anything for a bit. We might be able to reverse and get shots on the Duncan, but I think the Duncan's reverse speed with his speed boost up is actually faster than me reversing. Let's see. We could also try get shots on this Neptune. Or try to get a radar off on the Neptune. I do kind of want to turn in at this point. Maybe get shots ready on the Cossack, because he might get spotted by Haaland here. Or Pomer's coming back into range. Well, not range, but he's coming, like, away from the rock, so I could actually shoot him again. And he's half HP, so we should be able to finish him off. North Carolina's also at 9k HP. He's also probably killable. Neptune's at 8k HP, and he's spotted in front of my Tirpitz, Iowa. But he's healing, so he's probably not too killable too easily. Let's see if we can spot the Pomer, maybe. I don't know if that's me spotting him. I know it's someone spotting him. Let's just try to get another fire on him, I guess, and just try to kill him, because he's quite low. He should be a killable target here. 44k damage, which isn't too bad, I guess. There's a Neptune again. No fires yet. Remember, if we do set a fire here, he's gonna have DCP available, so it doesn't really matter. We get one AP salvo here, maybe. Let's see how it does. I don't think the AP does really well at all, to be honest. But definitely worth a try. He's not DCPing first time fire this time, because obviously he learned from his mistake last time. He single fired DCP, then just got perma fired instantly. Now he has double fire though, so he should be DCPing quite easily here. Well, I mean, he's dead anyway. I think he knows. I think he's accepted his death. I think he's going next. Let's go for the Duncan now. Go for the Duncan now. The arcs obviously aren't like Nevsky arcs. They're very like arcy, obviously, which means it takes quite a long time for the shells to land. But they are much quicker than, for example, like a Worcester or Seattle style. So this ship is very usable. In my opinion, at least, it's one of my favorite tier 9 cruisers. In terms of tech tree cruisers, I'm trying to think of one that I actually prefer more, but I can't really think of one right now. Obviously, I really like Rune and Drake, but I think Donskoi is a wonderful tech tree cruiser to have. Obviously, there's also a lot of people who really like Riga, but I actually prefer the Donskoi over Riga because, well, I don't really like the Petro style or the Riga style of gameplay. I very much prefer the light cruiser style, and this, well, offers that sort of play style. So I actually do prefer Donskoi over Riga for myself. But yeah, we're up to 78,000 damage. We have 2 caps right now. We're kind of chilling. Obviously, we could be outputting our radar usage and making use of the radar and stuff. Yes, obviously, but there's no point to it right now. Right now, we don't really need to overextend to try to radar that Cossack at all. And right now, we're kind of in a good spot here where we're able to just shoot this Duncan and try and output some damage on him as best as we can. Neptune is called Bawin. I don't know if anyone has shots on it. I definitely don't because of the island. Cossack's in radar range here, so if we see him smoke up, and our team needs it, we can obviously radar our team. And the Takao is actually coming into the B cap here. I'm actually gonna radar him instead. Okay, the Cossacks also radared, because I think the Cossack did smoke. Let's try get some damage on this Takao. And we don't have to hydro or anything, because Takao's not even in torp range. Neptune did die. Citadel, double Citadel the Takao, which is not bad. Let's see if we can do anything to him. Mulgus, maybe? No, he goes dark. There's no real point to hydro here, but I want to hydro just to have it. I think we push away, maybe go into A and try to fight the Duncan again, maybe. We could run at an Nevsky Takao, but I just don't think that's a good idea here. Because it's, I mean, running at them, I don't know what it achieves, to be honest. Like, okay, we can, like, I guess get outspotted by the Takao and farmed by the Nevsky, for example, but I don't think that's a good idea. Mr. YouTube comments. So we're gonna go towards these guys, maybe not run at them, but at least apply some pressure on them to see what we can do. But anyway, I'm gonna skip this part till we get into range. Well, Takao did actually end up going into the B cap, which is going to be quite unfortunate, because, well, I'm not in a really position to reset him anymore. But what we could do is we could run at him by going into B now. I mean, North Carolina is probably dead here at this point, because I didn't think he was going to turn in, but he actually turned in. So I'm just going to go try run at this Takao here, maybe. And I'm going to have AP preloaded. Why? Because he's probably broadside because he's too busy capping. So he's sitting in the cap broad. Oh, is he leaving? No, he's actually not broadside, by the way. He's angled. But he's, well, now, well, he's broadside to a Tirpitz. I think he just got dev struck. Yeah, he did get dev struck in his Takao. Now secondaries will finish him off, which means I won't be able to actually finish him off myself. Yep. So, yeah. Another skip, my friends. I feel like I'm at a range where I can actually start outputting some damage accordingly. This game is still really close, so we shouldn't be playing it too risky on this Nevsky. By close, I mean the ship kills. I mean, we do have the advantage, we do have the cap advantage, we do have the point advantage, but you still can't just like suicide in. Like, it's just gonna be quite hard to come back if we lose 2 more ships or something. Obviously, we'll still have the cap control, which is nice. But, well, there's a Yamato and a Nevsky on the enemy team, which aren't ships to be, well, to say they're pretty weak, you know? They're pretty good ships. And they also have a Moskva here. I believe he's quite healthy. There he is. He's at 40k HP, so that's not too bad. So we're just going to play it a bit carefully here. See what we can do. See what we can do. Moskva might be coming out, actually. That could be a potential damageable target. Potentially. We'll see. Doing quite a lot to this Nevsky right now. But sadly, we are going to have to re-angle because there is a Moskva coming our way. And we are caught broadside to the Moskva if we don't react. And now we're out of Nevsky, well, gun range. Or, well, me, gun range to him, basically. So we can't actually shoot him anymore. Our Yamato's dead. Which is quite unfortunate, to be honest. Our Haaland is caught into Nevsky radar somehow. So he's just open watering. I don't know why, but there you go. That's the rules of the engagement. So he's probably dead. So let us play carefully. We don't have to kill ourselves, like, to win this game. Like, we just have to chill out and, well, kill the things that are going to be pushing into us one by one. That's literally what the enemy team is actually doing right now, killing the ships that are pushing into them one by one. That's kind of what all we have to do, really, at this point. Haaland and Yamato were quite unfortunate deaths, but I don't think we just straight lose the game now. I think we still, obviously, it is still winnable. We're going to all focus this Moskva if possible. We did 6k, 5k there, not bad. We should be able to finish this Moskva off, in my opinion. We should be relatively okay. Vampire turned away, which is nice for us, obviously. Yamato is going to be behind me, which is going to be fairly unfortunate. But I don't think he's actually going to end up shooting me. There's definitely other ships he should be shooting. Or other ships he can shoot. Like our Moskva is on 8k HP. And we're just trying to live, obviously. Why do I want to live as much as possible here? Well, obviously I'm a light cruiser. As we talked about, our armor plating isn't that good. So, we do actually end up dying very quickly if we are caught out in the open. Which, I mean, you could say we are in the open. But we're in a position where I don't think we're kind of like overextended. We can walk away, we're pre-kited. This is the types of things you want to try to be doing in light cruisers. Especially something like Donskoi. You don't want to be bow in, you don't want to be super aggressive in Donskoi. You don't want to die instantly. Our Haaland actually ended up killing the Duncan, which is quite surprising, but good on him. And that's basically gonna secure us the victory. So good job on our Haaland, actually, even though he did die, unfortunately. I guess he died for damage. I didn't know that he had torps available on the Duncan. But now we have a free Yamato here. We should be able to farm. And this should be pretty much the game. There's only 1 minute 42 seconds left. Moscow might be killable on our team, but it's kind of whatever, to be honest. Even if we lose 2 ships here. It's just, the enemy team is running out of time, so it's gonna be pretty chill and relax overall. We're just trying to secure as much damage as we can to inflate our damage count number, inflate our PR value, and just, well, just get higher damage, I guess. Higher damage equals higher stats equals better happiness, clearly. Up to 170k, which isn't too bad. Yamato seems to have DCP'd, it seems. Not really sure. We can radar the Haru, I guess. But I don't have a shot on it, and I don't think anyone really has darts pre-pointed towards it. A vampire did die. But the game's gonna end in 30 seconds anyway, so there's no point to not radar, because our radar lasts 30 seconds. But that's pretty much the game, I think. Oh, the Yamato is killable. No, not really. He's dark. He's dark. He's dark. It's over. 9 seconds. Yeah, he's healing as well, so I think he doesn't die here. But that's okay. 4 seconds and the game is over. Oh! We have some extra time because our Moskva died. Uh-oh. 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 Maybe the Haru comes out and I actually get a kill? Unlikely, but you never know. There's 30 seconds left, so It's unlikely though, because he's kind of farming in smoke. And the Nevsky's actually probably dead right here. Oh, yep. And that's GG. So for the Donskoi game, we ended up doing a 173,000 damage, 337 shell hits, 2 kills, 9 fires, 2 hits to the Citadel, 1 defended and 1 spotted ribbon. For team score, we ended up getting top of the team, 2K base XP, 2080 base XP with 2 kills. Detailed report, we ended up getting, of course, 67,000 on Pommern, 25k on Moskva, and then some ship damage, 20k on each ship we shot, but not bad. Damage received only 24,000 because we played in these positions where we can sit pretty much behind islands or very uninteresting positions for the enemy team to shoot us. In terms of damage output, as you can see, 115k HE, 22k AP, and then 36k fire damage. Credits and XP, 337,000 credits, 10k XP, 1.2k free XP, and 12,000 commander XP. For my commander build, again, I'm going to be showing it to you. Grease the gears, gun feeder, priority target, superintendent, survivability expert, concealment expert, adrenaline rush, and top grade gunner. Equipment, I'm running main battery mod 3, concealment system mod 1, prop mod 1, aiming system mod 1, surveillance radar mod 1, and main armaments mod 1. Alternate builds, you can remove top grade, you can run IFHE, but I don't recommend running IFHE because the fire chance is usable on Donskoi, so nerfing it from 15%, which is really high, to like 7% isn't too good, to be honest. In terms of consumables enhancements, you could take it. You could also take Demolition Expert, or you could take something else. But, well, actually, I don't think there's really much else to take. You could take RPF if you want. That's up to you. In terms of my statistics in the DM Donskoi, because I always try to show them to you if possible, if I can find it. Dmitri Donskoi right here. So I have 64 games in Dmitri Donskoi, 61% win rate, 117k average damage, which isn't too bad, I would say. So that's a pretty decent average damage for Donskoi. Those are my Donskoi stats. That's pretty much a Donskoi. In terms of final words and conclusions, before I do that actually, so how do you get the Donskoi is what you're wondering probably. So to get the Donskoi, you're going to go into tech tree, you're going to click USSR, and you are going to check the light cruiser line here for the Soviets, and here is the Dmitri Donskoi, the Soviet light cruiser. So that's pretty cool, I guess. Here it's free, obviously. You just have to grind you have to grind Orlan, Novik, Bogatyr, Svetlana, Kotovsky, Badioni, Shores, Chapayev, and you'll get the Donskoi, which will lead to the Nevsky. But obviously, I'll try to cover a lot of these ships in various videos, if possible, in the future, in tech trials, and obviously of other nations' tech tree ships. So I think so far we did King George V, Cleveland, Fiji, and now the fourth video for the series is DM Donskoi. I do hope you enjoyed it. But let's talk about my opinion on the ship. What do I think of the Dmitri Donskoi? Like I said, I think it's my favorite Tier 9 Tech 3 cruiser in the game. To me, it's very fun. I like the playstyle it offers. Obviously, you have radar 12 kilometer. You have light cruiser guns, which is kind of like okay, I guess, at best. But they're very usable, in my opinion. The armor isn't the best. The speed is really high, so you can rotate around the map really easily. So that makes it pretty easy to use. And the range is very good. I think it's a very good ship overall. I think it's very usable. You have some consumables which help you out, like radar and hydro. If you do use hydro, but you know, you don't have to if you don't want to. But yeah, I mean, Donskoi is a wonderful ship. I have fun playing it. Obviously, I don't think it's easy to play. I think it's actually quite a hard ship to play because of its lack of armor, basically, and lack of turning. The actual armor of the ship and stuff, it just makes it quite hard to play for, especially newer players. But if you're an experienced player, at least slightly experienced in open water cruisers, Donskoi is definitely one you can pretty much do that in. But as you saw in the video, I made use of islands as much as possible because it will help you out a lot. That's pretty much the Donskoi video, guys. If you have anything you want to mention that I missed out mentioning, please do let me know in the comments below. If you want to see another ship that's Tech 3, Tier 5 to 9, Tier 5 to 9, specifically in the tech trials, let me know. If you want to see a premium ship, any premium ship from Tier 1, which doesn't exist, obviously, premiums at Tier 1, to Tier 9, let me know. I'll feature that in the fresh look. series. And if you have a tier 10 ship, any tier 10 ship, tech 3 or special or premium or whatever at tier 10, you want me to talk about or feature, that will be done in the How I Play or the Thought Process series. That's where I cover tier 10s. But this will be for tier 9 and below, and so will Fresh Look. If you have any ship you want to get featured in these series, let me know, and I will try to cover them. I appreciate you guys watching the content. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Big fan, guys.